Hey guys, Lawrence Heisler over at the mortgage firm. I've got a special guest today. My boy Lawrence, the other Lawrence, the LAW.
The
So
second.
W for winner.
Yes.
Lawrence is one of the top real estate agents in all of Central Florida. I love this guy. He does an amazing job. When him and I work together, we always have a great experience, and the customers, they're going to get that wow experience with us, man. And I want to just thank you for being such a great professional and somebody that I trust with my customers. And thanks for everything, man.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Cool, cool. So, listen, we're going to talk a little bit about buying in this crazy market today. So, as most of you probably know, we are in a crazy market. This has been something that I don't think anybody's ever seen or forecasted or projected that this would happen. Just to set the tone, and then I'm going to let you kind of jump in and talk and tell us a little bit about, some things about this market. But what we're seeing is really low inventory, right? Crazy, the lowest ever. But we're seeing also really low interest rates. So we've got a ton of buyers out there that want to look to buy a home. Another thing to point out, and I think you'll agree with this, last year with COVID, we were shut down, right? For at least a good 3-4 months.
That's right.
The
Yes.
real estate industry kind of shut down. So all those people that were potential buyers back then, and that happened to be in the springtime, which is our busiest
Yeah.
season, right? So you had thousands of people that normally would be buying a house that were shut down, and now those people are back out in the market again looking, right?
Correct.
So huge demand, not a lot of supply, not a lot of inventory. Prices are really starting to go, up and up. Tell us a little bit about what you think about this market.
It is definitely a seller's market right now. The supply and demand is very lopsided. And if you're looking to buy a house right now, you could still do it. You're just going to have to be aware that there's going to be a lot of competitors bidding on the same property, especially if the interest rates being so low. So everyone's coming to Florida due to our weather, our job growth, everything that's happening here. We're growing. I mean, Central Florida's on the map. I mean, Tampa took the Super Bowl last year, so everybody wants to be in Florida pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, it's the weather and the beaches and everything that we have here, the amenities to offer someone from out of state. Plus, their taxes are very cheap compared to other places in the country.
All right. So we've got a lot of reasons for people to continue to move to Florida. We're seeing customers from New York. We're seeing customers from California. People are ready to get back to work and get their lives back, and it's kind of fun to see. It's
Absolutely.
I'm happy to live in Florida. To be honest with you, I think we're one of the greatest states in the country with everything that we've done and gotten through this crazy pandemic, and yet we're still all working and our economy's great. So all good signs. So let me ask you this, Lawrence. You got a buyer. You're going to be talking to this buyer. They want to move to Florida. What's some advice that you're going to give them to help them get their offer accepted?
First, definitely speak to your loan professional here. You want to be completely approved for a loan versus starting the process and then looking at homes. If you look at a house and you decide you want that property, you can guarantee that there's 10, 20 people doing the same thing. And from what I'm hearing from some of my other associates, there's like 50 showings, 60 showings, and 30 offers coming in. So you want to make sure that your pre-approval stands out more than anybody because you might be competing against a cash offer.
30 offers. That's crazy. So
Easily.
So let's flip the switch here. Let's say you're the listing agent. You've got this beautiful house. You've got 30 offers sitting on the table. You and your seller are going to start to evaluate these offers. What's going to make the difference other than obviously the amount that they're going to offer? Let's say with a lot of these offers coming in right around the same offering price, what are other things that you're looking for in that offer?
Naturally, the sales price will be the first thing we're going to look at, and then the escrow deposit. How much are they putting down? Then looking at the loan type, or is it going to be cash? If it's a loan type, depends on how much down they're putting towards their loan to see if it's a serious buyer. How long will it take to close the file as well? If it takes 45 days versus just 2 weeks, we have a seller that needs to go to another place, and they have to use those funds to apply to their next purchase as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, and I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask you anyhow.
Sure.
Does it matter who the lender is?
It matters a lot. If we are not familiar with the lender, we have to, of course, present it to the seller and let them make a decision. However, if we have a reputable lender that we know that's been doing business for many years, that's the kind of person that we want to feel comfortable going to business with to get the home sold.
All right, that's awesome. So, so you're going to get your buyer fully pre-approved.
Correct.
You're going to get them in a position to where you're going to have the least amount of contingencies as possible, right?
Absolutely.
So a lot of our listeners might not know exactly what a contingency is. Can you tell them a little bit about that? What are some things that we're going to try to avoid when we're making that offer from a contingency standpoint?
I would reduce the inspection times. Instead of the traditional 10 days or something, I would make it to 5. It doesn't take long to know if a house is in great condition or not, and having an inspector ready to go. Some people are removing appraisal contingencies. I don't recommend that ever. However, some people will feel confident about the value that they're putting towards the house. So that's another contingency that can be removed. Unfortunately, I wouldn't ask for closing costs either, because again, you have 30 offers that you're competing with, and if you're asking for closing costs, that's something the seller may not want to pay at this time.
That's great. That's awesome information. A couple of the contingencies we also try to help our clients with is if they have another house that they're going to sell,
Yes.
and they're going to use the proceeds to buy the new house, we're always going to look for a way to maybe make it work without them having to sell their house, because we know that adds more layers of risk. And that's a contingency, the contingency of having to sell your house to buy the new house. So we're always going to look at alternatives to making that happen. Same thing with the closing costs. If we've got a client that's a little light on funds, we're going to look for ways to bridge that gap and keep them out of having to ask for those closing costs. Maybe it might be concessions that we're able to help them with. Maybe a lot of times they have a gift. I can tell you one of the big things we're avoiding right now is the down payment assistance programs. And again, because it's a contingency, their loan is contingent upon them getting approved for that down payment assistance.
Correct.
It's got to go to that down payment assistance company. They've got their own set of underwriters. It's a whole nother layer of risk. And I think it's important to, at this day and age, you got to come in super strong, right? If you want a chance to buy a house,
Absolutely.
you got to try to find any way possible to streamline your approval and make a good, strong offer.
Absolutely, and not to discourage anyone that's using down payment assistance, there are some homes that will only accept that type of loan. So always have your realtor or agent that you're working with to keep those options open as well.
Well, I think the most important thing, Lawrence, and I think you'll agree with this, is find a great team to work with.
That's right.
Find a great realtor. There's a lot of real estate agents out there today that are not experienced. They don't have the knowledge about contracts, about negotiations, all the things that separates a really good real estate agent, not to mention you having your network of professionals that you refer to keep everybody close together and where you know what you're working with, and that all helps with making that offer and getting that deal closed too.
That's correct. You want to have a really good team, experience, and if the agent's not experienced, make sure that they're supported by someone or by a big company that will make sure that he can get the job done.
All right, or just use Lawrence Polito. All right.
It's a great option.
Well, hey, I want to thank you. This has been great, man. Yeah,
Yep,
thank you so much, and
Thank you for having me here today.
we'll
Thank
keep
you.
cranking it, man.
Absolutely.
All right.